Now, the EFF is marching to Brackenfell High School in Cape Town today to protest against alleged racism at that school. The allegations came to light after black students were excluded from what was seemingly a private matric farewell party with white students only. The city of Cape Town has granted the EFF a permit allowing 100 members to join in on the demonstration. Earlier this month, EFF supporters were confronted by parents outside the school, resulting in an arrest. To get an update now, Vanessa Poonah, SABC News senior reporter down in Cape Town. Vanessa, welcome to the agenda. Speak to us. We're seeing motion behind you, barbed wire fences, police are setting up. What is the latest?
Yes, indeed. A very warm good morning to you. And here in Rockland Street, that's of course the street where Brackenfell High School is located. Some action taking place. As you can see, police are indeed moving into the road with a barbed wire, and I expect that they will be cordoning off this entire section. Also, we saw quite a number of law enforcement vehicles and officials, as well as the police water cannon, in anticipation of the start of the protest by the EFF. So far, I must be honest, I've only seen but a handful of EFF supporters here. When I spoke to some of the leadership via telephone earlier, they said that they are still en route. So we will speak to a representative from the EFF once they become available. But can I also tell you that at this point in time, just across the road from me, I don't know whether I can ask my colleague Clinton Surf to actually move the camera with me, because I do indeed want to show you that roads are being cordoned off, as well as to my left over here behind me is a large group of supporters of the Cape Party. Now, they've come out, and I've spoken to their leader earlier on, asking why indeed they have come out here today after explicit calls from both the Western Cape Education Department, city officials, as well as the Human Rights Commission, to keep tensions down as part of this protest. And their leader, Jack Miller, telling me that at this point they've come here just to observe. They, of course, have accused the EFF of politicking in their cause. When I put it to Mr. Jack Miller, that indeed constitutionally they have the right to protest peacefully, and also Cape High Court judge has given the EFF the go-ahead to protest peacefully. He then said that they are here merely to observe. But of course, police as well as the city officials in a statement yesterday saying that they have indeed secured an operational plan to ensure that whatever takes place here at the school today will be managed properly, and that any violence will be dealt with accordingly. I can tell you that we've tried to obtain clarity from the Western Cape Education Department with regards to today's the physical science paper that was due to be written at the school. They will not confirm the location, but says they have taken all the necessary measures to ensure that matric learners of Brackenfell High are indeed going ahead and writing their exam paper without any threat to that said exam.
Yeah, Vanessa, let's maybe take a step back. Since the war zone, if I can, for lack of a better word, that we saw when the EFF were assaulted by the so-called parents at Brackenfell a couple of weeks ago, what has the tension been like? What has the mood been like around the area, and particularly knowing that the EFF had said they will not let this down? They were planning to make their way to Brackenfell.
Yes, indeed, and I apologize for that movement of the camera there. We're just trying to give way for this police vehicle that's actually moving the trailer with the barbed wire behind me. But indeed, and if we take a step back, we'll know that, of course, this entire furore is over a private party that had been arranged by parents of the school and some learners. What they're saying is, and they've insisted on saying, that the invitation was extended to all the learners, but that only the first 100 were allowed to come because of COVID-19 regulations. And of course, this is an issue that the EFF has taken up. That's the reason why they were here 2 Mondays ago when we saw that chaos breaking out, because what they're saying is that there seems to be a culture of institutionalized racism. And at the crux of the matter is that at the end of the day, we learned that only 42 white learners attended this party. So of course, this whole issue at Brackenfell High School And even though the party did not take place on the premises of the school, it was at a private wine estate on the 17th of October. This issue, of course, has highlighted, because we know that at more than one teacher, for example, attended this masquerade party arranged privately. And therein is the question that the EFF is asking, does this not then lead to say that the school was somehow involved, or at least members of the school involved in this party? Now, you'll know that a school governing body application for an interdict was turned down on an urgent basis, and that application for an interdict now has been postponed until the 2nd of December in the Cape High Court. Of course, in the interim, the judge, Judge Siraj Desai, the presiding judge, said that the EFF is allowed to protest, and because they've given the undertaking that they will protest peacefully.
We also know, Vanessa, if you may, that the President Cyril Ramaphosa, described the confrontation between EFF members and those so-called parents, or the people around, well, how basically went down, that it was deeply regrettable, and asked for an urgent investigation into the allegations of racism leveled against the school. Do we know if anything has come out of that with regards to the education MEC, Ms. Schaefer, in the Western Cape?
Yes, I know that at the time the Education Department did indicate that they will be investigating this matter, and also just linking on to what you said about the President and how he said this matter was unfortunate. The Human Rights Commission, they themselves are also investigating a number of complaints that have been stemming not only from the chaos that ensued here 2 weeks ago, but also various other allegations of racism. So this matter has indeed highlighted the issue of racism, with a number of investigations and probes taking place to ascertain not just the party and the issues around the party itself, but also some private, or some former learners at the school having made statements about their time at Brackenfell High School, their experiences and so on, and those will all form part of investigations. At the end of the day, according to the Human Rights Commission, they have appealed for calm from all parties, because they have said that any confrontation among various parties or people in the community does nothing to build social cohesion in South Africa.
Vanessa Poonah, SABC News senior reporter, thank you indeed for joining us and for that update. We'll come back to you as soon as more information is readily available. Please do stay in touch with us, and we'll update our viewers as well. Vanessa Poonah, they're coming to us live from just outside, down the road from Brackenfell High School. As we know, it is expected to, well, the EFF is expected to march down there. We remember what the conversation we just had is how that turned out 2 weeks ago with some members of the community, and some of them calling themselves parents of students at Brackenfell had a confrontation assaulting EFF members who were outside the school picketing there.